Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Birdie Goes Crafting. Today I'm showing you how I make Turk's head knots, and you can see here's a Japanese little bag that I've made, and I've used Turk's head knot there as part of the fastening. I'll just slide that back down again. This is another Turk's head knot where I've used two. The thing about this is I've made it into like a medieval bookmark where there's more than one page can be marked, and this is one that I've started. It's fine, it's just difficult to see the pattern properly in it, but you know, it's lovely and sparkly like that one. So right, what I'll do is I'll get the things I need to make this now. I'll put them to one side. Can always put them out again later on. I'm going to put it on a stick. I've worked out how it works. I know how to weave it, and I want to put it onto this. Now, excuse me one moment, I'll get some pins. Right, I want to attach, I'll turn that over as well. It's not much better, but can't waste paper. I'm going to put this around here, and obviously it's too big, we know this. So I'm going to pick up that's fallen off my desk, get some scissors and a needle. A nice big sewing needle. That's the one I use. And I'm going to take some wadding, which sounds a bit silly, but you can use it over and over again. It works. So I will cut a length of this, and I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it around this, so we make it a bit fatter. How are we doing? See, that works. Pull it really tight because we can get a little bit thinner, and put this around here. Now it does need to be stronger than this. I'm going to put pins in it, so I find the best thing is to just not do that. Lose that for a minute. Put a little bit of sellotape there, so I squash all that down, matching up A's, B's, C's and D's, so D, C, B, A. Once I've got this bit sorted, now I'm going to put some more sellotape on, but I'll put sellotape all the way around. These patterns, because they're strengthened, you can use over and over again generally. You know, it is multi-use. The pins don't do as much damage as if it were just paper. So I'll just strengthen that up they just slide off really easily. So you can make your own and make different sizes. Now it's nice and strong, and I've got to now decide, oops, I'm quite good at destroying where I'm working. That's not the needle I've used. I'll go get another one. That's the one, and it's a nice blunt dull needle, but with a big eye. It's a knitting needle as far as I'm for wool. And now I'm going to start on threading this. So I'm going to start on the seam there, and I'm going to put a pin in. I'll choose black. I make really small ones of these, but I'm using a really thick cord because I thought it would help. And I'm going to go all the way down here. See, we're following the pattern. I'm going to put another pin in. The reason I've got this old tube is that it stops you putting the pins in and hitting your fingers. That's experience. I have done it, but you need a lot of wadding to do that. It hurts. And you can see we're going to go all the way down here. Another pin. Put another pin there. Now we're going to cross the cord here, and this says that it goes under, so we'll go under it. There we are. We're not crossing anything else, so we'll go to the top again and we put another pin in. And this says that it's an over, so we'll go over that one. So we'll go straight to the bottom, and you can see how it's starting to take shape, and eventually there'll be a lot more weaving involved, but it's easy to know where you're going because this says I'm an under because there's a broken line, so under we go. And that's an over, as in with the weaving. So we'll take that right bang up to the top again, get the black pins out, got that. Now that is saying it's an over because there's no broken line on here, and that's saying it's an under, that's what we do with weaving. I'm going to pull this thread through right down to the bottom. And then we're going back up again. Now that says it's an under, that's an over, that's an under. And you can really see your, get that little piggy out of the way, bloody nuisance. Right, there we are. But it becomes quite obvious where you're going when you get to this stage, because it is actually just a woven cylindrical knot. I like the very obviousness, if that's a word, of this pattern. Right, so you can see that's an over that cross, and it's an under that cross, and it's an over that cross. So we'll go back down to the bottom, and we're nearly there for actually doing the weaving part of it. Another pin. We're down here right at the bottom. Pin that. As we come up here, it's an under, an over, it's an under, an over, an under and an over. You know you're getting it right because it's different to that one there on that line, and it's different to that one there. They alternate. So let's have a look. I'm going to put another pin in. And then that's an over, under. If the pattern weren't on here, you would be able to work it out from that, because if that's an over, this one will be an under. But this helps you realise which part of the weaving you're doing, because you're keeping this thread tight to the lines. Yes, that's an over, that's an under. We are literally following these big thick red lines. You've got that there. If they stray off a bit, just move them there. And right, now we've got quite a few here. So that's an under, an over, an under and an over. Once again, a pin at the top. Through the cord, down into the wadding. Now we're going to go down here. It's starting to really fill up now. That's an over, that one. Let's do that there. So now we're on over, under, over, under, down to the bottom. I think I've just got enough black pins here. Pin that. And then, because that's an over, that's an under, you can see it's working out. We'll go, that's an over, that's an under, and we're back at the very beginning, except I think I better put that through there. have I done? There you are. So we can pull that now up there, and we've got a nice, can you see, it's all woven there for you. So they'd go together. Now at this point, if you wanted to use a different colour cord, say you wanted to start putting a second colour through, like I have on this gold one, there's two colours. At this, as I untangle all of this, today's a crash wallet, you can start, let me use that needle, through. If you wanted, you can do a two colour one, and you can see, because you've got this pattern already now, you could do a two colour one, a three colour one. You could fill all your gaps in, and you'd get a really nice fancy knot. So then we'd go over there, under there, over there, just literally follow what you've done previously. Alright, and you can see how you're going to get something really pretty. But for ease, I'm going to just detangle this. Let's have a look, give it a nice little pull. There we are. And now I'm going to take all the pins out and just put them away, because we've done the weaving, they're not going to unravel, but you are going to have a very big knot, and the idea is we reduce the knot down and down and down in size. And how you do that is by pulling the threads in the same order as they've been woven. Now I've used a silky thread, I've used rat tail. It's a lot easier to do if you're going to use yarns or anything that's, you know, going to cause friction. It's not going to slide through as easy. So I'd definitely try with a big piece of slippy cord first, really. So we'll just put those pins there, so I'm not always in camera view. There we are. You can see we've got one whopping giant knot now. I have made it a little bit bigger, obviously, just to make it easier to see. The blue one I made was really difficult. I can lift that off. We have a knot there. Look at that lovely knot. You can see the meat up there, all woven. That's nice. Now the next thing I'm going to do is tighten it up. So I'm going to put it back on here, and I don't want to use too much thread. So what I'm going to do is start tightening at the long end, and I'm going to pull that through a little bit, and you can follow it around. You see, where does that go then? That goes there, so I can pull that one a little bit, then pull that. Where does it go next? Goes there, so I can where does it go? Yeah, it does, it goes there, but we're pulling it through always in the same way. Pull that, pull it through. So where is it now? Oh, it's up here. So we can pull that a bit tighter there. And it's very important that you pull it through in order, because you can see how it tightens up. So let's see, what else can I do? Tighten that there, And again, look, you can see it's giving me that thread back. You can see how it's tightening up nicely. No, we don't want to. There we are. I'm just pulling it through, literally, and you can follow it. There you are. Thread there, pull that. Pulling that there. You can follow it very easily with the eye because I've made a nice big knot. See, that goes down there. Goes, where does that go now? That goes down there. That goes there. So we've made that knot smaller. What I'm going to do now is take this. This is even smaller, and I'm going to do the same again. So we'll pull that. See, I've got the short length, I'm holding it there and then I'm pulling this way, because you can end up with you're not right in the middle of your cord and you lose the length then if you want to do something with it. You can see I'm pulling it through again, I'm following it. You can see it comes up there, it goes down there, which means it's going to come up here, it's going to go, it slips through lovely and easy, this. Right. Put that up there, pull that down there. Still there you are. So now we've finished our knot, and you can see here all I've done is tie the two ends together. I tie them firmly and just sort of tap them into the inside or add a little bit of glue to keep them secure. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. You can see that I've made a narrow knot with a wide circumference here, and that's because of the shape of this. But if you made your pattern that shape, you'd get a different type of pattern completely. You'd get a different size, you'd get more of a tube covering. It's up to you what you want to use these for. You can use them on jewellery, you can use them on tassels, you can wrap them around other cords. There's so many different things. You've seen that I've made one into a bookmark. You can make buttons out of them. It's entirely up to you. Now, if you are wanting to make different shapes, it is useful to know how to make a pattern for them, unless you can find one online, which there are ones available. But I wanted to show how I made my knots and how I can just make them different sizes if I want them to. I didn't put it at the beginning of the video because I felt that it may not interest some people. People might just want to do this part of it. But before the video ends, I have included it. So it's up to you whether you find that interesting or not. But if you do, hopefully the information I put there will help. First thing I do is make a pattern, and I've made my own grid paper for this. There's two ways to do it. You can either just cut the shape out of this, or you can draw it on here and cut it out. This is an example where I've drawn the pattern on and cut it out. You get more out that paper doing it that way, but for ease and for it's easier to see if I do it this way for you. So I've decided I'm going to do one. You can see I've cut it out. Let me overlay that. Right, that goes nicely over that. I've cut this part out, and it is 7 by 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all around the edges I have triangles, and I know they're nice straight lines now. I know that's perfectly square. The next thing I need to do is work out that this knot will actually work, because you can't use any random cut out oblong. We have a 6 by 3 and a 7 by 3 here. I'll get a pen. One of the way this works, I'll try and keep this straight for you, is that this point is A and that point is A, that point is B, that point is B, and that point is C, that point is C, that point is D, and that point is D. So basically they're the same place, and they are the same place. They are the same place, and that's the same place. The way I would liken this to is that when you see it, you look in an atlas and the world. I'll just move that down a bit because you didn't see that. There you are. When you look at an atlas, the world is flat, but we all know the world's round. This is a flat pattern for a Turk's head knot, and we're going to put something around something to make it a round pattern, a circular pattern, and these points will join up. So if I can show you again on this one, how when you do that, A and A join up, B and B join up, C and C join up, D and D join up. Now if I'm doing a pattern, this is on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's not going to work, because let me put the 7 on one side, because if you start in this corner and you go there, it'll take you back up to A, then you'd start at A and you'd come back down again, and then you'd go back up there. So you can see you're not going to get a knot doing that. What is different is when I do it on the 7. Will the 7 fit on? No. So I'll do that again for you. So A, you can see, let me have a look. B, C, D, B, C, D, and again these, they're the same points. They're going to touch when we put it around the stick. Now when I do the same with this to work out whether the pattern will work, because the idea is, as you can see on this one more clearly, they've all got to interweave and every line has to be covered on this pattern. So if I start here at A, I'll go down here. When I get to the bottom, I'll go back up to A, and then I'll come down to B. Now remember, that B is that B, so when that's going down, we'll go over here and down here, and then we'll go up there, we'll go down there, and that C is that C. Now it's going down there, so we'll continue going down here, because this is what the cord will do when we make the knot. So we'll go up there, up, down here. Now D is D, so it's gone as far down, so that is going to have to go up. Then we'll go down again, we'll go up to C, and we're at C here, so we've got to continue going up because that's the direction we will go in. You can see each line is slowly covering up. Now we're going up on a B, so we go to B and continue going up. We'll go down, we'll go down, sorry, up, and now you can see I started there and finished there, and so we're going to start and finish in the same place with the cord, and you can see that knot will work. The next thing I need to do is work out how this button will weave, and it is under and overs. These are not points because they'll fall flat. They'll fall flat when you make your knot. So I'm going to first put in an under and an over, an under and an over, under and an over, under and an over, and again under, over, under, over, which then means that that has to be if it's over there, it's got to go under there, over there, and it'll go under that cross and over there, and if that's an over, that's an under, which means that will be an over there. And what we can do now is continue that pattern all along, because as we've seen up here, it replicates itself. So we'll do over, under, over, under, over, over, under, over, under, over, under. Now that's an over, so that has to be an under there. So we go under, over, under, over, and this is giving us an indication. Now when we go down there, if that's an under, that has to be an over, and if that's an under, that has to be an over, and that's an under. And then we just continue filling this pattern in. So that's an under, so that's an over, and that's an under, and that's over, that's an under, and that has to be an over. And let's have a look, that's an under. You can actually see how the rows are actually all the same. Right, that's an under, so that's an over, and that's an under. Our next line that we can do, right, so if that's an under, that's an over, and it does work, under, over, under, and they're all the same on that row. And we've filled, oh no, we've just got a couple left in the middle. So if it's under there, it must be over there, over there, over there, over there, and over there. Now I appreciate that might be quite complicated. This is how I make a pattern. You can make your own. There are plenty online that you might be able to find and use. Gina B Silkworks, she's very good on these Turks knots. I can put her link at the bottom. She's not asked me to, I'm just sort of saying she's very good because she's inspired me so much, and I'm sure that she has books with these patterns in. I've done it this way because it's my pattern and I don't want to use other people's work. If you want, you can use my pattern. If you want, go visit Gina, and I think there might be some other places as well on YouTube.